Hi, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time viewing, I officially welcome you. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, my G. Thank you for being a loyal one and thank you for tuning in. So today's video is practically a recap of the mental health interview that we had this past Sunday. I hope this video is going to be educative to you. Please share it with somebody and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Anyways, see you on the other side. Bye bye.
We finally joined.
Since after a struggle.
I
It was
know,
a
right?
struggle. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, let me just compliment you. You're looking so gorgeous. Hey,
Thank you. You're looking good too. You're looking so good. I like your smile.
oh my goodness, thank you. Welcome to our live. I'm so happy to have you here, like seriously.
It's a pleasure. I'm really glad. I'm happy. I'm excited to be part of this live.
You ready for our discussion today?
Super ready. I was born ready.
I think this topic because I think it's very important, with so much things that's going on around. People, we are just being affected by a lot of stuff, and mental health, I think it's something which needs to be discussed more often. That's the reason I thought I should invite you, because you are the expert. Those who are live here, welcome. I'd like to introduce my special guest. She's Nola Chisenga. She's my fellow Zambian sister, and she is an advocate for mental health. She spreads mental health awareness. She's one who's doing great works out there, making sure that we have a good health and that everybody is equipped with the right information concerning mental health. I'm going to discuss about mental health issues. So our special guest is going to elaborate more on this topic. Welcome, Nora. Good to have you once more.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to share the information that I have with you people. Thank you for having me here, and for those that are tuned in, thank you for tuning in. And I hope this is going to be educative to you all.
Yeah, it surely is. Okay, let's begin our discussion. So, what is mental health?
I choose to define mental health as a state of your mental being. Like, how is your mind doing? How are your emotions doing? Like, are you able to express the right emotions in a particular situation? So that's how I choose to define mental health.
What made you decide when to venture into this field of mental health?
So I decided to become a mental health advocate because I realized that mostly people who have like mental health issues, they never really know when they're going through a mental health struggle. So they feel like they're trapped in this dark side. They feel like their life is just worthless. So I'm like, okay, why not speak out for those people who feel like it's not okay for them to be okay, and create this environment for them so that they can easily express themselves and come to a point in life where they are okay with not being okay, and accept that not being okay is human, and try and find ways of them just getting to a better place.
It's really important to know that not being okay is okay. Accepting the situation it's also a step to handling this situation. So why do you think it's important for anyone to advocate for mental health?
Like, mental health is something that was never taken serious, even in just the African setup. This is something that's not taken serious because it's believed to be a white man's disease. So I feel like it's very important for people to advocate for it, to create that awareness, because we're losing so many people to suicide and deaths related to mental health. So we should evolve and try and create that environment, where we make people aware of what's really going on, and so that we can reduce the number of deaths that are caused by mental health issues.
We really need to spread this information out there. Everyone has to be a mental health advocate, because we need to look out for our brothers or sisters. We are our brothers' keepers, so it's very important. I agree with you.
Mental health issues is something to do with the mind. A mind is something that's just not so visible. So it's very important for us to just be out there being brothers keepers and taking care of one another and just making sure that everybody is okay.
Very true, very true. And I like that part where you said, like, in Africa, mental health issues, okay, now it's at least improving, like people are opening up. But back then, they would say, no, it's a white people's sickness, it's a white people's issue. There's nothing like a psychiatrist to talk to somebody or something like that. Like, we don't do those kind of things. But now it's opening, people are becoming more open to these kind of topics, which is very good. Yeah. And I think this has to be done on a greater level than how it is right now. So how can somebody who is like maybe they're in a difficult situation, they have mental health problems, how can they know? Maybe they have no information, they don't know that they are having mental health breakdown. How can they know? What are the signs?
To begin with, there's so many different types of mental health illnesses. So I'm just gonna talk about the ones that are really affecting us at the moment. So I'll just give a few examples and then I'll talk about the ones that are affecting us. I'll give a few symptoms of how you can tell if somebody's going through that particular type of disorder. So we have autism, we have depression, we've got OCD, we've got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. We've got anxiety, and we've got clinical depression. I don't know if I mentioned that one. So the ones that are really affecting us as affecting this generation are clinical depression, anxiety, PTSD. These are the top three. I must say these are the ones that are most common. So they have similar symptoms. So we have anxiety. So when one is anxious, one is feeling and having an anxiety disorder, they just feel uncomfortable with being in that particular area or being around people. They just isolate themselves, they get easily irritated, and they just don't feel like socializing. Same with clinical depression. The things that they used to love to do, they don't do them anymore. They either sleep a lot, they either don't have enough sleep, they just have these mood swings, they just change from out of the blues. Then we've got PTSD. They are like the particular thing that caused that trauma, they try and avoid it. They have nightmares. Also it also can have insomnia. There's also the mood swings. So for instance, let's say somebody had an accident, they will try by all means to avoid traveling. If the accident happened by train or by plane, they will try by all means to just avoid that thing because it reminds them of that particular trauma. So those are some of the symptoms.
Wow, quite a lot, quite a number, but very informative. Like, again, there's another information that I got. You can also spot mental health issues. For example, if you are oversleeping, like less sleep and oversleeping also, it can be a sign of depression or anxiety and stuff like that. And then if this kind of situation continues for more than 2 weeks, like really, it simply means that you are having a mental breakdown or something of that sort. Like, which means you have to go consult with a doctor or somebody, you talk to somebody and stuff like that before it becomes worse.
And then not only that,
Social media, you can also tell from the way people are, the stuff that they post on social media, because you find that somebody will just jokingly post something about death, life not being worthless, like they just want to go, and like they just don't feel like life is worth living. Some people will take it as a joke because mostly they are memes nowadays, huh? So when a meme is shared, people will think as though it's a joke, but there's always a truth. Like, nobody will share something they cannot relate to. So if they share it, they are relating to it. So you also have to pay attention to your friends' posts, what they're posting and the like, because there's always a message in that. Some, when they share those memes, they're actually out there crying out for help, telling you, saying, I'm stuck in this dark phase and I need you to help me out, and I need you to just come out and hear me out and just be there for me.
It's true. They say like we should be checking out for those people who seem to be the strongest, who are always there, happy, laughing, and all those kind of stuff. It's not like they're really strong, but probably they have a situation going on. But at least if we check on those people, it also simply shows that we care about them, and then they also feel better because it's really tough. Yeah. Can I also know what can one do in order to heal from these situations? For example, what we said, if you have anxiety, depression, and then you are oversleeping, you are refraining from socializing and all those kind of stuff. Okay, I have spotted that I have depression or anxiety. What can I do to help myself become better?
The first step is acceptance, because healing cannot come when you have not accepted that you're not okay. So, like, there's this phrase that we always use saying it's okay not to be okay. So, when you accept that you're not mentally okay and that you're not okay and you need help, that's the point where, that's the point when help can come in. Because people cannot help you when you have not accepted that you're not okay and when you have not realized that you're not fine. It's hard for people to actually help you out. So you can either get a therapist, go to therapy. It's normal to go to therapy and talk to somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be therapy. Like, you can talk to somebody in your inner circle, somebody that you trust, and tell them, saying, you know what, this is what I'm going through. So the thing about mental health issues, it will have you stuck and it will have you feeling like you don't have to talk about what you're going through because nobody will care about it. But then the truth is that the people around you would rather listen to you ranting and anything that you have at heart, and just show it, express yourself, because they care about you. So, and you also have to kill that thought, that inner thought of feeling like your life is not worth it. You have to start to think positively. So if you have negative thoughts, write them down and write a positive thought. Like, write on the opposite side, write a positive thought. So whenever you feel like negative, just look at those positive thoughts and just remind yourself of who you are and the good things about yourself, and that just begins to boost your courage, and that helps one move past that mental health breakdown.
Again, there was another it's more of a documentary that I watched. Like, they said, not even like sometimes to stay away from social media. It's important because social media can also contribute to us feeling ill and all those kind of stuff, like bringing different kind of thoughts. Like, for example, comparison. That this, let's say, if you have depression because, let's say, you're not employed, you are in debt and stuff like that, then you go on social media, you see your friends are living that kind of a life and stuff, so it kind of like affects you. You start contemplating on different kind of thoughts. So sometimes it's very important to just like detox from social media. It can also help us like to be better.
I do that too. Like, when I feel like I'm getting all anxious, like, I do stay off social media. Like, I cut off it and like, because social media can be so draining. Social media just has like this particular, it's created this particular lifestyle of how life should be. So mostly people get to be anxious. People try to race against themselves and fight against themselves because they're not living the life that social media is telling them that they should be living, and they forget to live in the moment and just be there. So it's very important that when you begin to feel anxious, and like, just cut off. Like, not it cannot also it cannot necessarily be social media. You need to cut off anything that's just draining you. If it's like a certain environment or maybe certain type of people that are draining you, you need to cut them off and just focus on getting back to that positive energy. Just be around positive people.
Yeah, I saw a comment here. Let me read it. It's from Jaido Prodigy. I don't know if I read that correctly. He's saying like, given the fact that depression, that there is stigmatization associated with depression, people who are depressed tend to hide their symptoms. So how can we help with that? Do you have an idea, like for people who hide their symptoms and stuff?
Depression has no face. Like I can be seated right here, like all happy, but then I'm actually going like I'm depressed. I'm even talking about it. So it has no face. You literally can't tell. So one way we can help with people who are going through depression is just learn to be nice to people, because just one silly comment can make somebody who's going through depression snap and take their life. It can be, it can be a very petty comment, like it can be a very petty comment. You'd be like, but then why did they commit suicide? It's because they were on the edge and we did not notice it. So it's very important for us to just be nice. If you are going through it, like if you're going through depression, treat people how you want to be treated, in when you're going through that phase. So it just creates this culture of where now we're grooming each other to be brothers keeper and just being nice to each other and caregivers, so to say.
For real, that's true, because we are all facing different kind of battles. We can be moving in the street and stuff like that. People see you like, oh, you're doing good, you're strong, you're that, but yet they don't know what's like deep down in your heart, how you're handling other issues. So yeah, kindness is the most important thing. We really have to show kindness. It's very, very important. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. So sis, if you don't mind, have you ever experienced any sort of mental disorders?
Yes, I have. Like, I actually suffer from anxiety. Like, I do get.
Anxious. Most of the times I do get anxious about stuff, and in the past, like I went through teenage depression. That's one of the reasons why I became a mental health advocate, because I just wanted to speak for people that are going through the phase that I once went through, because I needed somebody to talk to me. Actually never knew that what the feelings that I was having was actually depression. I just thought that I was not human for not being happy. So I became this so that I can be a voice for those people who can stand out and just speak out for themselves and let them know, saying it's okay and I'm here. Every emotion that you go through, every dark phase that you're going through, I can relate because I've been through it. I'm somebody who actually tried to commit suicide twice. Luckily they did not work out. So I'm just here to let you know, saying it doesn't, right now it looks like it will never get better, but it does get better. Like there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
And sometimes it's important to just talk yourself into it. Like, no, this is not it. This is not the end of everything. I'm not going to be at this stage forever. Like it's just a passing phase. Because yeah, it's just we all go through a lot of things, but it's never gonna be the same all the time. Things change. So having positive mentality also is important. And again, if you have like a strong family support, I guess you did have. That's the reason why you are where you are today.
Like I had like awesome friends. Okay, do one thing about when going through depression, you feel like nobody cares about you. But then the point that I started to open up to my close friends and tell them, saying, you know what, guys, I'm going through this dark place. I feel this way. I started to notice that people around me actually do care. So every time, I go through that anxiety phase where I feel like nobody cares about me, I try by all means to kill it and say, you know what, I am lying to myself. This is just like people do care about me. I am special and I'm unique and people really do love me. And so I try by all means to just surround myself around my loved ones, because that just helps you get through your toughest times.
It's important to think that I know there are times you might think nobody cares and stuff like that, but there are people who really care. Like they really are. People do care about each and every one of us. Maybe you might not see it, but they're there. They do care for real. How can someone out there help a person with mental issues? I don't know if we did talk about this, but what can they do to help the person who's got, let's say if it's in a family or a friend, how can we help those kind of people?
Spot out a friend who's a friend or sister or a cousin or anybody who's just going through a mental health issue, let me tell you something. It's not everybody that will easily open up. Like I'm one of them. There's some people who just stubborn like that. So the best thing that you can do is just be there for them. Like, you don't necessarily have to like get them to talk. Just create that environment for them where they can feel okay. But this person, even if I'm being stubborn, this person really does care about me. Let me just, like, it makes them feel special. With time, they will eventually start to open up with you, because the first key point is them getting to trust you. And it's very important that whatever they tell you, keep it confidential. Let them not hear it from somebody else, because once you betray that trust, Chasila, like it will be hard for them to ever open up with somebody. Like, that's how it is. So just keep it confidential.
That's one way that you can be there for somebody.
Wow, yeah, that's very, very 100% true. Because it's true, you trust somebody with your very, very own information, and you hate to another party, third party. Of course, you'll be heartbroken, and then it will make the things worse. It will be even very difficult for you to even open up to somebody. So, yeah, though it's difficult nowadays with the way we are living, like, somebody to trust, for you to open up to somebody and trust, it's difficult because people are just not honest nowadays. But if somebody decides to open up to you, I guess it's important to keep that information. You never know how you can save somebody.
That's true. Just keep
Well,
it confident.
information that you can add on, that would like to add more.
So the only what I would want to add on is I just want you guys to know that it's fine to not be okay. That's the statement that I'm going to leave you with. It's okay for you not to be okay. And people should not make you feel bad for feeling some type of way, because you were created with emotions. So those emotions are there for you to express and not for you to bury. So you're free to express your emotions, express them in whatever manner that you need to, in order for you to feel okay. So don't let anybody, make you feel like you're not fine for feeling some particular type of way. So, and if you're going through a tough phase, I just want you to know that everybody around you cares about you, because you might feel like nobody cares about you, but people really do care about you. Open up to somebody. It might not necessarily be somebody in your inner circle. Find somebody you can talk to and just share it with them, and that will help you get through that phase.
Thank you. Let me see if there are any comments, contributions. Mental health is impossible as physical health.
That's very true. Like, how we always go check up for our physical health, we also need to do that for our mental health. It's very important for us to just check up on our mental health.
Yeah, for me, for example, there are times whereby when I know that I don't feel okay, I just feel some kind of certain way, I tend to run to things that help me to be back in a good mood. For example, if it's music, I try to listen to the favorite music that puts me in the right mood. And sometimes it can be eating the food that I like, for example. If I just go to the food that I like and at least I tend to feel happy, Yeah.
I work out a lot. So for me, when I'm when I'm down, I jog a lot. That just helps me get back to my normal self. So just find something, like some self-care thing that you can do when you're down, that will assist you to get in your mood back in.
Yeah, and exercises, they are very important. It's true. They do help us to get back to a good state. It's true. That's really. I also kind of started exercising. I'm getting there though. I'm not like frequently, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get a routine for exercises.
It's a process, but you get there. You surely get there.
I'm trying my best. Like really, I'm trying my best because it's there. Exercise helps, truly do. Yeah.
They really do.
Another
Like
comment I just and you this may sound crazy, but talking to yourself if you feel you don't have anyone to talk to can be of help, of some
it
help.
can be. I do make voice notes for myself. Like when I'm serious, like I do make voice notes for myself. Like when I'm having a tough situation, I have like this notepad thing where I go. Sometimes I just write myself a note saying, "Dear Nora," I'll write every stuff that's very good. Or sometimes I just make a voice note saying, we're going through a phase, but I want you to know that we are stronger than this and we'll get through it. So it does really help. I can relate on that one, Tato.
Wow, that's so good. I'll try it as well. I'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds interesting. Well, sis, it's been a good discussion, very informative. I thank you so much for coming, sparing time to come and educate us on this great topic. Thank you so much for coming. I
Thank
don't know.
you for having me here.
You're most welcome. I hope you come again. I'll invite you.
I'm looking. You better invite me. I just want to come back again.
I will. Let me
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Any last words, if any, before we close?
I love you all. I love you all. That's my last word for you people. So I love you all. Yeah.